Good morning, everyone. Often a question is asked that who is better, Antonio or Shylock? If we talk like this, what we actually do in that case, we bring in a kind of limitation that spoils the charm of the drama. Further, the drama lacks its color. If you have only two questions from this entire drama, who is better, Shylock or Antonio? Or is Shylock good or bad? Let that be a personal choice. We should not avoid giving importance to those subplot characters and other characters. Without them, this drama is a colorless and very flat one. Act 3, Scene 5 is a vibrant example. A writer is considered, whether a dramatist, poet, or a novelist, is considered a master when he gives lives or intense importance to something which is very common, very simple, and out of no value. Act 3, Scene 5 is apparently a valueless one that does not allow us to be extremely happy and discard that scene from that book. Actually, it makes us think that how a scene which is actually a link between Act 4 Scene 1 and Act 3 Scene 4 that covers the time gap or the time difference marks the departure of Portia or Portia's ventures to Venice. Let us see how beautifully it is drafted. Even this scene looks very beautiful. While this scene only covers the time taken for Portia to reach Venice. Let us go a little out of track. There is a notification regarding reduction in syllabus. Reduction does not mean a source of happiness. It means you will not be able to enjoy those beautiful parts already enjoyed by the other classes or the previous classes. So, even if you don't go through those texts thoroughly, this is my urgent request to you that you must know the summary of those scenes which are going to be rejected. Now, let us come back to the topic. Since Act 1 Scene 1, we have got a character Antonio who has never been happy. No one knows what is the source, what is the problem of his happiness. But other characters are comparatively flat, easier to understand. Portia handed over the management of the house into the hands of Jessica and Lorenzo, and they were supposed to have some good time there. In Act 3 Scene 5, there was a sparkling, and more than sparkling we can use the adjective, a very interesting argument between a lover and a beloved, husband and a wife, Jessica and Lorenzo. From a small issue, they took the matter to such an extent that it obviously touched the readers as well as the people who witnessed the drama. But there is no hyperbolic action, neither there is any playing of any kind of diversities. What we have in this particular scene, that is the use of words. whether it is Lorenzo, whether it is Lancelot or Jessica. At the initial part, Jessica was cursed by Lancelot that she would not visit the heaven as she is the daughter of a Jew. Neither her husband is a good Christian, since that gentleman has converted her into a Christian, and that would probably raise the price of pork. Being Christian, Jessica may also start eating pork, and that creates a kind of consciousness and great concern into that small mind of the small character Lancelot. Now, Lorenzo did not fight with Lancelot. Instead, he took the matter lightly. So lightly that he created further enjoyment, fun, and amusement in this particular scene. He told Lancelot to arrange the table or arrange the dinner. That also got criticized as well as mocked by Lancelot. He played with words. Introduction of fool or clown is an important part in medieval dramas. It is a kind of joker added to these dramas, especially Shakespearean drama, to make dramas more attentive and reduce the seriousness. As we have Akbar and Birbal, similarly, here fools do not mean they are intellectually full. They are really intelligent people. But what makes them different from others is that they can defy any situation by playing with their words. So, introduction of Lancelot is not an accident. It's obvious and extremely necessary in this drama. Otherwise, Merchant of Venice would lose the color. So, as I am discussing so much about so many characters, we can come to a conclusion. We can come to a conclusion that Shylock, Portia, and Antonio or Bassanio is not everything in this drama. We have many more characters to look at. We have many more characters to think about. Lancelot is a gem, and this type of characters are very much important in English literature. As a human, he is not gem, but as a character in this drama, he is a gem. Without him, this drama is incomplete. He was the one who was a true friend of Jessica and Lorenzo. Without him, the house of Jessica got transformed into a hell. As we proceed further, we have got the idea of Jessica regarding Portia. We have got many suitors praising Portia, whether Morocco told her that she was like a gem who could not be inside any other casket than in the gold. Bassanio also praised high that a painter might be a demigod while drawing the portrait of Portia. Whether it is Aragon, everyone praised her to great extent. But Jessica's praising, I think, is the most important one, since here a lady praising another lady. And that is obviously important. That according to Jessica, if two gods play a heavenly match or a bet between them, and if they have Portia and another lady as bet, the bet is futile, the game is valueless or meaningless one. The bet will be a failure one, since another lady cannot be as worthy as Portia. You have to add jewel, golds and other things with the second lady to make her equivalent to Portia. So, all these speeches are of great values, which may help us to write different answers If somehow it comes right about Portia's attitude, we can write, we can take extract from these scenes. So this is the last discussion regarding Act 3 Scene 5. Already we have talked about the exercises. In further videos we come up with some different items. Thank you.